Hello everyone, in this video I'd like to give you a quick introduction to the PFI plugin for CompuTec ProcessForce. PFI is short for ProcessForce Import, and the plugin does pretty much what it says on the tin. It's a plugin that helps you import data to CompuTec ProcessForce either during implementation or when the company adopts a new functionality or any other time you need to import or indeed edit data. Previously, this was done using PowerShell scripts, which required some quite specialist knowledge. We wanted to make importing data simpler and more accessible, so that's how the PFI plugin came to be. When you open the plugin, you can see a large number of tiles. Each one of these tiles represents a CompuTec ProcessForce object. You can see here that we have a tile for batch templates. Down here, there's a tile for the item details form, and so on and so forth. When we click on one of these tiles, we'll be able to import or update data for that particular object. So if you choose the object that you want to import data or update data for, we'll go for bill of materials, for example, and then you'll get something that looks like this. So we have a table here which is empty for now. Along the top, we have tabs for all of the other objects that are related to bill of materials. So for example, items, phantoms, routings, and so on. And then down here in the table itself, we have the columns for the object, i.e. the properties of the database table. On the top right, we have some important buttons. This first one, Download Excel Template, it allows you to download Excel template of the columns which might be empty, or if you have already got some data loaded here, it would then include that data. Then you can add data or change data in Excel, and then using the next button, Import from Excel, you can upload that Excel spreadsheet, including the data that you've added or amended, and all that data will then appear on this table here. The Load Sample button allows you to load data that is currently in your database here, and then from here you can download it as an Excel file to edit the data. So then you would obviously be able to import the Excel sheet, and then using the Import to SAP button here, you can add the data to your database. This is really useful for updating data in your database. For bill of materials, you can actually also use the bulk change plugin to do this, but the PFI plugin does give you a little bit more control, and then of course you can use the PFI plugin for all CompuTec ProcessForce objects, not just bill of materials. Let's try that out and get some data to work with. So if I click on Load Sample, I'll get a window with some options like this. First of all, I can filter the records, so I can choose only select records as my sample. These are my options for a bill of materials. So let's say I'm only interested in bills of materials with a specific warehouse code, let's say 01. So I would just enter the warehouse code here, and then I can choose how many records to load here. So let's just say maybe 10. Oh, so actually there are just 5 bills of materials with that warehouse code in the database, so that's all we'll get. And now you can see these 5 bills of materials are here. So if we take a look on these tabs that I mentioned earlier, we'll see all the objects related to those 5 bills of materials listed. If we go to items, we get all of the items in the database that are on the bills of materials or are products resulting from the bills of materials or scrap, etc. If we go back to the main tab, which lists the bills of materials, the first thing that's worth noting is that these fields are all editable. So you can change things directly from here if you want. And then if we go along, just have a look, we've got right at the end our user-defined fields as well here. You can also choose to display read-only fields or not. You do that by checking or unchecking this checkbox. You can filter the bills of materials at this stage too by expanding the filter menu up here. You can then also customize the filters that appear. So we can edit and add data here in the plugin itself, or we can also do that in Excel. To save a bit of time, I've already prepared my Excel sheet with data, And here I have some data that's to be changed on these bills of materials, these 5 that we had earlier. And I'm also adding a new bill of materials too. While I'm here, one important thing I'd like to point out is that if you leave any cells blank in your table like I have here, then ProcessForce will not update those columns for that entry. If you want to delete existing data, you can also do that from here by entering the / sign in the appropriate cell. So when your Excel sheet is prepared, you can then upload it to the PFI plugin like this. And now you can see that we have that same data in the plugin. And you'll notice this symbol here. It just signifies that this column for this object will remain unchanged. And if it's for a new item, this data or formula, this will be populated by ProcessForce based on your configuration. So now we can import the data to SAP Business One. And then when we've done that, you'll get a pop-up which will confirm if the data has been updated successfully. And then also there will be a new column here on our table which will tell you if the import has been successful or not, as you can see here. All our imports were successful, but if you did get a failed message, you could just click on that and it would tell you the reason for the failure. Just to double check, let's go and see if our new bill of materials is actually there in SAP Business One. I've got the item master data here already, so I'll just open the bill of materials from here. And there we have it.